How's it going, YouTube? We're back on the proper camera today. I need a wide angle lens. I've got a fat head, I can't get it all in.
I can't understand where it came from, but you got it, my God.
Right, so I've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. Get this MR2 in a different colour. We had a look at the colour the other day, we'll have another look in a minute. We're going to do this candy red over grey. I'm going to go for a proper JDM look on it. Keep the bonnet grey, keep the engine lid grey as well. Bit of mix and match on it. Keep it JDM. Video is going to be a bit of a mix-up of what's happening over the next week. I'm going to cut loads out, just keep it to the point. So we'll see in this video the colour change of this car. Let's have a look. I'll show you why we're changing it. If you have a look at the paintwork, you can see all those little speckles in it. They're literally all the way down on one side and the rear. What that is it's the little fisheye dents in the lacquer. It goes right through to the paint. It was caused, could have been a mixture of things. Possibly I had that heater on whilst I painted it, that could have affected it. Also, I used to have one airline and it used to be the same airline for everything, so it could have been contamination. And also the other thing it could have been is I painted the candy on too fast over the base colour, and then the evaporation of the base colour underneath created little air bubbles and then they sank in. So overall it was a bit of a crappy job, so we're going to do it again. Got a bit of help today as well. Nazir's come in on his day off. He's doing a few bits for me. I'll show you what he's doing. Right, he's relocating this power steering pump for me and the battery because his welding's much better than mine. So as you can see, we've made some brackets out of some scrap bits of metal, and he's in the process now of making some for the battery. We'll have a look at that a bit more later when it's done. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do own more clothes. This is just my work clothes. Don't forget, people, don't ever jack up your car on 4 axle stands and then work underneath it. I'm up on 4, but I'm not going underneath the car. I just want to get in the wheel arches when I paint. So it's not safe to work under a car on 4 axle stands, so don't do that. This is the colour. This is candy red over the grey. So this is the colour what we do in the car.
I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as both you and me. When I let you go.
Taking the front bumper off for now because I had to take it off to get the headlights out. They're out now. We'll have a quick look what Nazir's been doing. He's got the battery mounted for me. Power steering pump mounted, so this is all nice and clear now, ready to duct up. Just got to wire all that in properly later on. I'm not going to spray the inside of here because this is all going to be covered up anyway with the plastics. What I might do later, if anything, is I'll rattle can this black because I've got to do the door shuts at some point. I'm going to do those black as well because I keep changing my mind with the colour of the car. So if I do the door shuts black, then at least I can change my mind then. Right, I've got everything stripped off this back end now, taken the lights out, spoiler off, taken all this out. I've dropped the suspension legs down, taken the brace off, stripped off everything across that back wall there, so we can paint and cover the engine up, and we can paint all this all in one then, and at least it's all matched in, because I'm going to do the engine lid, the grey, the same as the bonnet. I've just got to strip the doors down in a minute, take off this rubber there, take off those mirrors, then that'll be ready. I'm going to leave the door handle on because I'm lazy, to be honest. Got to strip this bumper down, take these canards off and all these bits here, and then I'll put it back on the car, leave it loose so the paint gets in the gaps, and I can paint it all in one then. Okay, that's everything off that I wanted to take off. There's a load more I could take off. I could spend forever stripping it out and doing a really nice job of it, but to be honest, I've not got the time. Right, so we've jumped ahead a little bit now, about halfway through sanding down. Let's have a quick look, shall we, see what we've done. I've masked everything off that we don't want painting, so I want these side skirts to stay black and around the top of the windscreen black, so we've just masked all that off, and the grills. In the back, I've covered over the engine so we can paint the car and this all at the same time, get all these the right colour. Masked off this back because that's staying black. These I'm going to paint the same colour as the car. In this I've had to cut in quite deep because, as you can see, these little dents in the lacquer, they go quite far in. And once I've gone over the whole car, I'm going to go over it again in 800 grit and get it really nice and flat. Once I've got it all sanded down, I've got a few bits to repair. I've got a bit there that's cracked, a couple of extra holes in the front bumper that I need to fill. So I'm going to crack on with this, get this all sanded down, get those bits repaired. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, so I'll see you back in a minute when it's ready to paint. There we are, all prepped and ready. It's all sanded down, masked off. There's a few repairs I've done on it as well. I've tack ragged it a couple of times, I've cleaned all the floor. We're about ready for some paint, I think. Let's have a look. Right, I'm not going to go through how to paint. I'm not a painter, I'm not great at painting. I'll go through what I've got. This is a 3-stage colour. So we've got, first to go down, we've got the grey. This grey. There's a colour code for anybody that's interested. It's the Volkswagen Indium Grey. Second stage is the candy red. We'll have a look at that later. And then the third stage is the lacquer. The gun I'm using is a DeVilbiss GTI Pro Light. I've got it all in pieces at the minute. I thought I'd give it a good clean out. The T110 cap. 1.2 needle for the base. So the first job I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up 50-50, the base coat and some thinners. Get it in the gun and let's get some on. I've got the workshop 20 degrees C. It could do with being warmer really, but that's as best I can get it. I'm going to go over it really light coats first, because I've cut through different layers. You've got a chance of getting a bit of rash in it, so nice and light coats, let them dry properly. Don't let it get too wet, else you'll get a reaction.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, I got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you close.
Right, so there's the first stage done, Indium Grey all over. So next we best get some candy on it, haven't we? Right, so this candy red, this is basically like a coloured clear. We've got to mix it up 3-to-1 with the hardener plus 50% thinners. There's a colour code for anybody that's interested. Let's get this mixed up and put some on, shall we? I'm going to put one light coat on, then we'll go over again with a heavier coat, the same as how we do lacquer. There we have it, mixed up like a blood red.
And I still don't understand where it came from, but you're back in with the passion. I'm awake with the flame in a hailstorm. I'm back in.
Right, so I've given it 3 coats, a light coat, a heavy coat and a light coat, and left it to dry. This is how it's ended up. Let's have a look. Now this colour will really come to life once it's outside. You start getting the sun bouncing off the corners then. You could leave it like this if you wanted to, because that is a hardened lacquer finish. We want to give this a coat of clear coat on its own. That'll really put the depth in the colour and start giving it the 3D effect. I need to finish these, get these grey, then I'm going to sand this down with 1000 grit just to rough it back up, and we'll get that ready for a coat of lacquer. Right, we've got down a couple of coats of clear coat on that. Down here I've sprayed and lacquered the side scoops black, from those ones from Luxury Parts. Over here we've got the bonnet sprayed. Over there we've got the engine cover sprayed. I'm keeping those grey. I've got a new front splitter there as well, ready to go on. I've made one that's bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all this back together. We'll get this car outside in the daylight and have a proper look round this colour, shall we? Right guys, so it's almost back together. I've got a few more bits to do. I need to give it a really good clean yet as well, but as you can see the sun's come out. So while the sun's out, we want to get it outside. Let's show you around it, shall we? Let's have a cold start, straight pipes start up. Do you smell that? Ooh, wouldn't be an MR2 if it didn't smell of burning oil, would it? Miss that smell. Right guys, so there you have it. Candy red over grey. It's a bit hard to do without my shadow getting in the way. As you can see, the colour pops in the sun. Quite a nice deep cherry red too. I've got some bits of dust in the paintwork that you can feel when you rub your hands over it. But what I'll do is I'll sand those down in a couple of weeks and polish them back up again. I think the contrasting grey bonnet looks great. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it really suits the style. I'm going to get a hard top on it as well at some point and probably do that grey. As you can see, I fitted the side scoops that Luxury Parts very kindly gave me. They finish it off nice there. I've also made a new splitter while it was all off. All it is aluminium with a bit of the rubber knock-on edging. And this is what the colour looks like out of the sun, just in case you're curious. Let's have a quick look round it.
I can't understand where it came from, but you got it, I got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you in.
So that's about it guys. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, obviously, and if you're not subscribing, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more on this, more on the camper, and hopefully I'm going to get to see some friends this year. We'll get some more MR2 videos, some more camper videos in. There you have it. Done. Nearly. Cheers.